Hello, Hari, Satnam.
Good morning. Good morning. It's so nice to see you in the Zoom square here from
I'm
across the
so
world.
uh, I'm so grateful to connect with you again. I visited your treehouse in New York. The space you created and the energy and the people it attracts is so beautiful, very serene. One of the best places in the world to practice Kundalini yoga.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really was born out of absolute love, and that's the truth. My husband and I really felt that even in the center of the city, the neighborhood was not good when we started. You know, it was a little darker, and the building was different. It's been renovated, and I knew the person who brought me to the property, and I just knew, my husband and I knew that even in the middle of that, it would blossom and that it would grow because we had the love and he had the music. And to me, that combination is amazing. The songs and the jazz and the music and the love and the practice. So
And
thank
and there's a lot of poetry there too.
you. Yes, I love the poetry. I like to write.
Beautiful. So, about creativity, we were just having a bit of a short discussion before we started recording about how COVID is kind of helping that creative energy bloom and blossom. So, how is that connected with the moon centers, with women? Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. You know, I was as a teacher, I feel I exist at the request of the student. Do you know what I mean? So a student said, "Now's the time for you to teach this course again." I said, "Are you kidding? It's so busy. How am I going to do that?" And so I decided to do it, and we're starting it like tomorrow. It was a week, and the Moon Centers is a conversation about feminine energy, divine mother, and creativity. And just like we consider the chakras, you know, really all these subtle bodies are just our feeling about our physical body. So both men, women, children, we have a relationship with this body. And oftentimes we don't know how to really take care or relate to it, and things happen throughout life that are completely natural. Different initiations when we're young, different things happen. And so the chakras and the moon centers are really about how we relate to different areas of our body. And the way the body and our relationship goes is that's emotion. Emotions are how, like, kind of like the spark of our relationship with the body, our feelings. You know, we feel something in our stomach when something happens, or we feel it in our shoulders. We each have this kind of unique imprint in our bodies. And so, even in psychology, we were talking about yoga based cognitive therapy now and mindfulness training. We're starting to acknowledge the part of that the body mind plays together, that they are together. And so the yogis have had some, and many religious practices have understood this for a long time. And I think we lost it, you know, with industrialization and just moving forward with so many things. And now we're reclaiming all the wonderful old traditions of just taking time to connect with what's going on now. So the moon centers is really the lunar centers, and they're in both men and women, but in women, you really go a little deeper. Because we, you know, have the feminine body that holds the child, we have a deeper experience. So the course is an opportunity for us, number one, to relax, because relaxation for people who have a feminine body can take a little bit longer because we have these powerful hormones and emotions that change. So, taking time together to really power down and relax and make that a part of our life. And especially now during COVID-19, I feel women are caretaking. They're really expanding themselves beyond themselves because they have this urge for love and this urge to care and help and this power of wisdom right now that is all over the world for women. So there's this great kind of wave, feels like a wave of feminine energy, of divine mother, even that has to show up during this huge challenge that creating so much fear among all us children, right? All of us are children. And we feel that. So the Moon Centers is about, getting together, learning to really relax so that wisdom and creativity starts to really blossom in a joyful way, not in a pressured way that has so much anxiety and worry about it. So how we balance those things? It's a conversation to help us process emotion, to help us get our sense of humor and find that wisdom so that we express ourselves and with our families and with our children and with our parents and with our loved ones, the ones closest to us, we can actually enjoy this time and be present to it. Does that make sense to you? Yeah.
Yes, it does. But this is all this work is divided over like 6 weeks.
Okay. Oh, so the course itself. So the study of the Moon Centers, what I did was I made the course a little bit shorter so that, everything's compressed right now, right?
Yeah.
Everything's compressed. So each, there's 11 Moon Centers. So in 6 weeks, we have these 2-hour calls where we'll really explore how we relax to sensitize ourselves to the different major emotions that we feel, and how when you go through these different emotions like the moon and its phases, how we can tap into the superpower of each one of those phases. For many years, maybe many years, um, a woman's emotions were not really elevated too much, if you know what I mean.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So before getting on this call, I did a small Instagram live to ask people if they have any questions, so I can ask you. And one of the questions was, will this course benefit men also? And then how different is it for men and women to work with their moon centers?
Oh, great. So, such a great question. And yes, men and women both have moon centers. Um, and it's all about how we are working with our emotions, how authentically we can live, right? And there's not in the time of COVID-19, relationships are hard enough, right? To express yourself uh, in ways that move you forward in your relationships and that create good boundaries in relationships and that give fulfillment to our relationships. So, for both men and women, studying the emotions and how the body is involved with that is very powerful. In this course, it's women, as I start to grow in this. I started teaching it many years ago, and I've had men join the course, and they've been in the course, and they have loved it because it gave them a deeper understanding of the depth to which somebody in a feminine body who has these, who has menstruation, who goes through menopause and pregnancy, the depth of our experience and where that takes us in our feelings. So men learn to appreciate that more. And for uh, men and women appreciate more how men might process their emotions, and they get more brave to express their emotions. The way So to be really clear, when we talk about men and women, we're not necessarily talking because of the great shifts in understanding of the human body have come. There's like edges where people have high estrogen, you know, and there's edges where they have high testosterone. And whatever the body is in between is where the moon centers live. In other words, it doesn't really matter what body you're in, but if you have these waves that go up and down with estrogen, this kind of cycling that we go through in the body that affects us, right? And that we deal with because it's in our bodies. Um, and then on the other end, where you cycle more slowly, actually, you cycle more quickly on the other end. And so one appears a certain way and one appears another way, but we really are very much the same. We're just moving at different speeds. That's one way to describe it. One is more physical, right? Does this make sense? One is more physical. Like you have the whole period that lasts a month, you know, and you're going through that. And if you're more on the testosterone side, you're actually going through it a little quicker because the dips aren't so deep throughout the month, right? They're not as deep, but you're going through the same physical mind-body relationship with the
Wow, that's amazing. I think, especially now with everyone being confined in their homes with their partners, a lot of issues come up. We spoke about this last week's Sangat about remembering that the other person is you, like constantly reminding yourself of that. All around the world, statistics of divorce, statistics of domestic violence have actually increased. So I think tools such as that, learning how to balance your emotional body, can help. What do you think about that?
That's exactly the fun of it, actually, because now because of what you learn about the moon centers and the shifting energy. My husband's a musician. He knows I talk about him, so it's okay. And he's extremely creative, right? All day long, he's playing and teaching jazz. So jazz is improvisation, not only the discipline, but then the taking off into the improvisation. So he has a great emotional capacity for highs and lows. And so, but he maybe didn't understand until we did the moon centers together. He was on my exploration because we've been together a long time. And I'll wake up one morning, he'll go, wow, you're in a different emotional state today. You're, you know, you're, and, something switched, something shifted. And that fun, that makes it actually fun in a way, right? It makes it fun because you watch somebody shift instead of feel that you're pulled in it or you have to resist it or anything. You just let it be and you can have fun with it. And that is really what most men and women report is that uh, the women feel more comfortable with their fluctuations like the moon instead of trying to be one thing. That's a big deal, you know?
Beautiful. I'm excited. I mean, I'm going to be joining you, inshallah, tomorrow. Next week, we're going to start Ramadan here. So it's fasting and it's also a very spiritual month. So I think it's a great tool to have because I was thinking, okay, so all what we're doing here now with the quarantine is eating. So eating is actually creating our well-being somehow. So now that they're going to take that away, or we have to make the choice to fast, now we have that space to really meet ourselves even more, even if we were kind of avoiding it by finding distractions. So I think that this class would be perfect for the next few weeks.
Yeah, to deeply go into a relaxed state for any human being is a little harder now. And for caretakers, or especially women who have children at home, or um, a woman's aura is talked about that it contains the whole world. So not only are we oftentimes worrying about our immediate environment, but there's something nagging out here, right? Saying like, what about the world? Like you mentioned to me, you felt the world couldn't end now because I had more to do. That is such the Divine Mother. You are absolutely speaking the Divine Mother. It's like, wait, world, it can't end now. I have something to do. So don't end, and now I'll do this. It's like this actual feeling of real power, actually, to actually stop time and move it around because the world needs love, because the world needs assistance. And that is absolutely like right from Divine Mother. Uh, so every woman has this. And in the moon centers, we wake that up, and every man has this. So they can wake it up too, that uh, absolute humanitarian in all of us.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Hari. That was lovely. I look forward to connecting with you. And now all the teachings and all the classes are also available online. So I am joining the sadhana, although it's not morning time for me, but still, you know, I like the practice and I like the sangat, as I mentioned to you. And I look forward to connecting with you more. Do you have a last word for our viewers?
Yes, take time. Take time to, whatever meditation is for you, whatever relaxation is for you, please take the time. It will serve you 1,000-fold for your creativity and for your sense of wonder, amazement, and love of life. And through all the challenges we're in, we don't want to lose that. We don't want to lose the preciousness from the stress. And it takes a little longer, maybe. Maybe you need 30 minutes instead of 20. You know, please try and take it for yourself and for each other.
Thank you so much, Satnam, from Dubai to New York with so much love. See you.
Big hug.
Bye.
Bye.